Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today's episode is a very interesting one. I just want to start off by saying that, as you can see, I'm kind of alone on this one. My daughter's not feeling really well, so I decided that I'm just going to do it myself. I do not want to force her to do it sick. Before we start, I'm just going to play a little clip for you guys. The clip that I'm going to play is about a 6-year-old Ljubica.
After 52 years of questions about who killed 6-year-old Ljubica Topic,
Yeah, I do recall her.
the community wonders how police could have concealed a killer's name for more than 3 years.
Unjustified. As far as I'm concerned, they should have at least released his name.
Ljubica's abduction, sexual assault, and murder in Windsor in 1971 shocked the country. Tips poured in.
We have had many calls come in this weekend, and as a matter of fact, we have interviewed as many as 38 people as of yesterday.
In 1971, the family home stood here. The girl was playing outside when she was lured away by a man who offered her money. Now, half a century later, police say that man lived just down the road.
Investigators say DNA evidence identified Frank Arthur Hall as the killer in 2019, but they wouldn't publicly name him because Hall died that same year and couldn't be charged.
I thought this day was never going to come. How many other people has he affected through the years of his life?
22 years old at the time of the murder, Hall lived less than a 2-minute drive from the Topic family.
We continue to look at past investigations and now have his name out to the public.
Hall later lived in Edmonton, and police there tell CBC News they assisted in the Windsor investigation. An Alberta court records search revealed no past charges for Hall, but police in both cities won't say if he was ever on their radar. This criminologist worries if the suspect got away with one crime, there may have been more.
So yeah, they found Ljubica in an alleyway. She was beaten and she was deceased. So that would be hard. First of all, that would be hard as a family friend to have to discover that, to have to see the little girl in that way. But for the family, it would just devastate you. You always have hope that your daughter or your child or whoever could still be alive, could still be out there. There's always that hope, right? But when that hope is taken away from you, everything, your world shatters. Everything's just meaningless after that, right? Especially being a parent or a guardian or, anybody would be crushed by that situation. And just, I couldn't imagine how the little girl was feeling, what she was thinking at the time. Just 6 years old, really young, really heartbreaking. Like I said, topics like this could be hard for some people, right? It could be really, it could get emotional. So, I just want to, again, say how terribly sorry I am to the family. I know that it will never bring your family back. And I know that people talking about it probably hurts every single time. So, again, I am truly sorry. I really just want to bring awareness to people and let them know how important it is to cherish your loved ones. Sorry. So sick still. Anyway, so after many people were brought in for questioning, obviously, the police were trying to figure out who did this. We need to find the person that did this. Because clearly people are going to go into a panic state. People are going to not want their kids to be alone. People are just going to be fearful until this person has been caught. And many people, like in the video, many people say that finally, you know. But it's amazing how, well, it's not amazing, but it's crazy, I guess, to believe that someone who lived right down the street from you could just vanish. You've never seen them before. I mean, you just never know. So yeah, they found Ljubica in an alleyway. She was beaten and she was deceased. So that would be hard. First of all, that would be hard as a family friend to have to discover that, to have to see the little girl in that way. But for the family, it would just devastate you. You always have hope that your daughter or your child or whoever could still be alive, could still be out there. There's always that hope, right? But when that hope is taken away from you, everything, your world shatters. Everything's just meaningless after that, right? Especially being a parent or a guardian or, you know, anybody would be crushed by that situation. And just, I couldn't imagine how the little girl was feeling, what she was thinking at the time. Just 6 years old, really young, really heartbreaking. Like I said, topics like this could be hard for some people, right? It could be really, it could get emotional. So, I just want to, again, say how terribly sorry I am to the family. I know that it will never bring your family back. And I know that people talking about it probably hurts every single time. So, again, I am truly sorry. I really just want to bring awareness to people and let them know how important it is to cherish your loved ones. Sorry. So sick still. Anyway, so after many people were brought in for questioning, obviously the police were trying to figure out who did this. We need to find the person that did this. Because clearly people are going to go into a panic state. People are going to not want their kids to be alone. People are just going to be fearful until this person has been caught. And many people, like in the video, many people say that finally, you know. But it's amazing how, well, it's not amazing, but it's crazy, I guess, to believe that someone who lived right down the street from you could just vanish. You've never seen them before. I mean, you just never know. I can't really say too much more about him. I believe he did what he did, and he hurt a lot of people. I know that. He hurt the family. And what he did was definitely not okay. Like, I said, if it was me and my family, I believe that I would not stop until I either found the person, found my child, um, or until that person was no longer with us. I would do whatever it took. And if that means using DNA testing or hunting that person down myself, me and my kid's father definitely would do so. There's nothing to it. There's no questions asked. That's just something that you do for your loved ones. That's what you that's what you're going to do to protect the ones you love, right? So, um this case was tough for me. First of all, it happened in the place where I grew up, the place where I was born. Um, I I have experienced things myself, and I would like to talk about it with you guys. But first, I want to finish up talking about the Ljubica case. The police have released his name, and they have finally solved the case. I'm pretty sure it was in 2023. So yeah, it's out there. The family can finally rest, I guess. They have the justice, as much justice as you can get. Yeah, the police have made it public, and they're hoping that since his name is out there, maybe other people could come forward, other people and other cases could be reopened. So it's very important to get this information out there to the public. Even for myself, I had no idea. My friend was the one to suggest this story. Thank you, Kayla. And yeah, it's truly important for family, friends, community, everyone to get the word out there, let people know, like, this stuff happens every single day, every day, and there's not much you can do about it. It's a sad, cruel world that we're living in, where people still get away with this kind of thing. Ljubica, I hope you're resting in peace. I hope you're watching over your family every day. You're with them every day. And I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. I truly am. From the bottom of my heart, I thank God every day that our family and everyone's family around us has been safe. And we are so blessed for that. We are so lucky. So I just would like to remind you guys, like, please, please, please be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of where your children are at all times. Okay, now that I have talked about Ljubica, and it was a very, very good story, it kind of reminds me of myself in a way. So I guess I can share a couple of stories of my things that happened in my childhood. It's nothing like the Ljubica case. Nothing. I'm here. Thank God. Since his name is out there, maybe other people could come forward. Other people and other cases could be reopened. So it's very important to get this information out there to the public. Even for myself, I had no idea. My friend was the one to suggest this story. Thank you, Kayla. And yeah, it's truly important for family, friends, community, everyone to get the word out there. Let people know, like, this stuff happens every single day, every day, and there's not much you can do about it. It's a sad, cruel world that we're living in, where people still get away with this kind of thing. Ljubica, I hope you're resting in peace. I hope you're watching over your family every day. You're with them every day. I'm so sorry that of myself in a way. So I guess I can share a couple of stories of my things that happened in my childhood. It's nothing like the Ljubica case. Nothing. I'm here. Thank God. But the story I want to share, not everybody knows. Not everybody has heard this story. I guess kind of like her situation. There was a time when me and my sister, Jasmine, we were playing outside. It was a hot summer day. We were playing outside, and I think we were playing with water, like the hose, maybe a sprinkler. I'm not sure. But all of a sudden, we see like this car pull up right beside us. Like, we lived on a corner lot, and there was an alley right beside us. And we see this car that we weren't familiar with. We didn't pay no attention. There was always cars going back and forth, right? So me and my sister were playing outside and wearing shorts. It was hot. It was summer. I forget how old we were, honestly, but we were young enough. I'm the oldest. I have three other siblings. We're all girls. My mama had 4 girls. But like I said, we were playing outside. Very hot day. And then, yeah, this car pulls up next to us. And this guy, he's rolling down his window. And I'm just watching as my sister's not really paying attention. And he gets our attention, right? He says, hey, you girls. And we're just like, oh, what? I had big attitude back then. I'm like, what do you want? So, yeah, he rolled down his window, and he like just weird, creepy vibes, I guess. I was a kid. Everything's creepy when you're a kid. But I'm very bright, very trustworthy, right? Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, he rolls down his window and he's like, hey, you girls, what are you doing? And we're like, we're playing outside. It's hot. And he goes, you guys want to go to the store? You want to go get some candy? Like the typical, hey, kids, you want candy? I have candy. And I'm pretty sure my sister, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure my sister was like, yeah, I want candy, because she was way younger than me. And I was like, no, like, don't take candy from this guy, don't take candy from strangers, kind of thing, right? So my sister kind of gets a little closer to Buddy's car. So I decide to run inside and I'm yelling, Mom. I'm like, Mom, this guy is in his car asking me and Jasmine if we want any candy to come with him, and we had to go to the store to get it. And she was just like, what? I don't know what she was doing, to be honest. She was like, what? I was like, hurry up. Like, this guy is asking us to get into his car. And by the time my mom gets to the door, the guy's already gone. Like, he peeled off. He's gone. I don't think that got reported to the police. Should have, honestly. But yeah, I couldn't even describe what he looked like to you, to be honest. Just some random dude. Yeah, so that was kind of scary at the time. That was pretty scary. And it was safe to say that we didn't really talk to anybody else who stopped, which was really good, because I always kind of knew, like, don't trust everyone, but I was still really nice, and I wasn't afraid. I was just like this tough little girl. I wasn't afraid of anybody. Like, everyone's friendly, right? So there was that time. Second time, it's a little more serious. So get you guys some tea, get you guys something to drink, maybe a snack, and yeah, let's really get into this one, because it's crazy. It's pretty crazy now that I'm an adult and I have my own kids. Every time I tell this, I'm like, wow, just wow. Like, what could have happened if people weren't there for me, you know? But yeah, let's get into what happened to me when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. Excuse me again. Anyway, so I would spend a lot of time at my grandparents' house, and this was back in Windsor. I would spend a lot of time at my grandparents' house, and they lived in a townhouse. I mean, sorry, not a townhouse. They lived in a trailer home in a little town of Tecumseh. So they lived in a trailer home, and because they've retired, right? And I love my grandparents, so I'd spend like as much time as possible at their house. So they obviously had neighbors, but there was this neighbor. He was an older guy too, and he was really, really friendly, like really friendly guy. My grandparents introduced me to him and his grandchildren, who later on we got along. Like, he had 2 grandsons, I think Nathan and Ryan. I don't know, it was a while ago now, a long time ago now. Anyways, 2 boys, and I'm pretty sure he had a granddaughter, way older than me. Her name was also Kayla. Crazy, right? So one summer, I would spend a lot of time over at the neighbor's house. His name was Robert. So I'd spend a lot of time there. Half the time it was his grandsons calling me over. Kayla, come play. Let's go climb in the ditch. So we would go climb in the ditch and get all muddy and have to clean off with the hose, right? Anyways, but it kind of got weird, because I would I would go there by myself. If they weren't there, I would just go over, right? Because he would have junk food, he would have his pool out. I love swimming. If you know me, you know I was just a little mermaid back then. Love, love, love to swim. So the pool was like my weakness, right? So he would have a pool and I would be in my bathing suit, like, I'm not giving a crap, swimming for hours. And then he would have barbecues. My grandparents would come over sometimes, but mainly it was just like me and him hanging out. Me and him hanging out. Um, so it kind of got weird when I would hang out in his house alone. Because sometimes I would bring my sisters there to come and hang out. He had lots of birds. He had a bunch of guinea pigs. He just a bunch of animals, and I love animals. Uh, so yeah, I would just chill in his house sometimes for no dang reason. Just chilling in an old man's house on a Saturday. And he would give me sweets. I would hang out with his animals. And a lot of the times I would go there to he would lend me his movies because I was a kid that would just sit in front of the TV if I could for hours and hours and hours. And my grandparents, they bought me so many movies. But of course, I would go through all of the Disney movies and want something a little older, I guess. Something with comedy. And Robert was the guy to do it. He was the cool guy. I could go and get movies off of him all the time. No big deal, right? Everything sounds pretty innocent right now. I'll tell you, it's not. It gets worse. So, back to me hanging out with his grandsons. We would play outside, play ball, jump rope. We would swim. Just being kids, right? I was always outside. They were cool. I never really had like girlfriends, I guess you would say. I had a couple. I brought them to my grandparents' house. They absolutely they liked it, but then they're like, screw these little nerdy kids, right? So it was cool to hang out with Nathan and Ryan, if that's your names. It was cool to hang out with them. But when they would have to drive back to wherever they lived, sorry, it was just me again, just me and Robert. So I would chill, watch movies there, till my grandparents would call me over and I would have to go home, right? So this relationship would go on for quite some time, I think. I was always over there every single day. It got to the point where he would start buying me things. Like, I was a spoiled little brat from my grandparents anyway, so if I could get somebody to buy me a freaking cake, a bag of chips, or some chalk, then I was gonna do it. So, I guess he was just buying me whatever I asked for. I don't know what I would ask for at 9, 10 years old, whatever. But he got it. He would go to the store and he would give it to me. I'd be like, oh, thank you. So happy. I remember a few times, I'd be like, hey, Robert, I think I asked him, I remember asking him for a little recorder. The ones that you record your thoughts on, whatever, press play and all that stuff. So I said, Robert, I want one of those recorder thingies. He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, please. I ask him, I'm like, please, please. And he's like, okay, but you're coming with me this time. You're coming with me. His car was like this old, I don't even know what kind of car it was. It was pretty big, and the seat belts were, it was just a cool car, cool looking car. The seat belts like went below your waist instead of across, right? And the little cigarette things in the back. And I was like, okay, I don't even know if I asked my grandma or told her, hey, Graham, I'm going with Robert to Walmart by myself. And I don't even think I said anything. I think we just went, which was insane, because a lot of things, like a lot of the stores and stuff, were a pretty far drive, right? I thought it was anyway. So we end up going to Walmart. We're walking around, and he's picking out the recorders, and I'm trying them out, and I'm like, yeah, I want this one. That sounds good. And I think I got a hula hoop, or something like that. Excuse me. Yeah, so I got a hula hoop and a few snacks, I guess, and then we head back. So we're back, and I'm testing out this recorder, having a great time. Nothing happens. Fast forward a little bit. I'm still asking this man for things, and he continues to get them for me. I think I asked him for a baton thingy, the stick that you twirl around. I asked him for that, and he's just going out and getting it. He brings it back. So I'm like, wow, I got it good over here. Like, what kid doesn't want everything that they could ever want? Like, who wouldn't accept these things, as a little kid? Especially if, like, you don't get them all of the time, like, my mom had 4 girls, like I said, so she couldn't buy me everything that I wanted. So I was like, okay, cool, I got the jackpot here. Anyway, so yeah, it got so bad to the point that my mom's like, Kayla, where are you getting all of these things from? And I was scared. I was like, I didn't want to tell her, because I knew she would be like, no more. That's it. You're done. You're cut off. So I lied and said, oh, Grandma got it for me. Grandma and Grandpa got it for me. And at first she was like, oh, okay. Because they would spoil me rotten. And my mom wouldn't think twice, right? So I guess, like, oh, okay, I got away with that one. Close call here. And yeah, as time went on, I wasn't thinking anything bad would happen when it came to hanging out with Robert, especially alone. I mean, I would lay in this man's bed, okay, put on the TV, watch a movie, chill in the bed. He'd be in the back doing whatever he did, because I knew that, like, he liked arts and crafts. So he had animals to take care of, right? So it's like, he was doing his thing. I'm chilling, watching a movie, nothing weird going on. Just chilling, hanging out, right? And it was just like little things here and there that were weird. Were really, really sketchy. But I was like I said, I had no fear. I didn't care, really. So I would bring my sisters over, and be like, I'd be all proud You know, this is my neighbor. He gives me whatever I ask for. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. I remember one time the Polaroid camera came out. Don't know how that situation happened where we ended up taking a bunch of pictures. Um Probably because I was always like photogenic kid, taking pictures of everything, seeing it, didn't really know how it worked. So asked him to show us how it worked, me and my sisters. I actually still have a couple of photos of me and my sisters to this day. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, maybe he would have had some too. So we're taking a couple of photos. And my sister's like, okay, let's get out of this musty trailer. Like, I'm here to play. Let's go outside. So we go outside, we play, and I couldn't tell if he liked any of my siblings at the time because he was very, very like quiet, standoffish. He kind of let us do our own thing. But as soon as they left and it was just me, he was like close, like really, really close with me. Um, just telling me like stories that I wouldn't really understand at the time because I was still too young to really understand. But yeah, he had different vibes when other kids would come around, as even adults. I feel like he would put on a front, right? He would put on an act. So fast forward, I must have been getting a little bit older. You know, I must have been maybe like 10, 11 at the time. Because I remember the movies that I would watch were a little more adult like, right? There was cussing and kissing and all that fun stuff. So there were more adult movies, right? So I remember going over like usual, asking Robert if he had any movies that I could watch. And we go back to the room because he had, I feel like he had two bedrooms, to be honest. He had the bedroom at the far side, closer to the door, with his bed and TV and whatever. And then he had a bedroom to the far, like, end of the trailer, close to his bathroom, right? And it also, there was a bed and a wall covered, like filled with movies. And at the time, they were the VHS movies, right? So he's like, make sure you rewind the movies and bring it back to me. I would never rewind the movies, okay? But anyways, he he's starting to tell me about certain movies and which ones I might like and which actors were in these movies, and I'm saying yes or no to movies. I'm getting myself a little pile. And then randomly, he looks at me and he says, "Oh, this movie, I think it was like Austin Powers or something weird. I can't remember. But he looks at me and he's like, Kayla, I'm gonna ask you a question." I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. I don't, whatever. And he's like, he kind of pauses and then he's like, "Are you a virgin?" And I'm looking at him and he's looking at me and he goes, because this movie is for grown-ups and they do things in this movie that I don't know. I don't know if you are ready to see. And he looks at me and says, "Are you a virgin?" And I was just like, "What?" Buddy, I'm 10, maybe 11 years old. And I was like, "I don't know what that is." he's like, I think he explained it to me, honestly. I'm not gonna repeat, but I think he explained it. And I was like, yes, I am. Like, I didn't know how to, like, what he wanted out of that question. Like, now I kind of see where he was going there. But at that time, I just wanted to watch a movie. Like, that's a kind of question that you do not need to ask a 10-year-old. You don't, that's not your business, first of all. That's not your business. You are not my father. You're not my mom, my grandma. Why would you ask that fucking, I'm sorry. Why would you ask that question? So, of course, me not too worried. I quickly take the movies and I go back home, not thinking anything of it. I don't think I mentioned it to my grandparents because, well, whatever. I don't know. Didn't face me. Anyways, so yeah, that happened. I got asked if I was a virgin by a 50 something, maybe six. Nah, I don't think he was six. He had to be 50s, right? Try to think if anything else happened other than him asking that question. Nothing to my knowledge happened. I don't think he made a move. He used to hug me a lot. That was weird because he would like squeeze me pretty tight. He would compliment me saying, I love your cute curly hair, your blue eyes. But I don't think he has ever tried anything with me. But once my mom realized that I was spending all of my time over there, I was getting plenty of toys from him. I finally fessed up and I said, yeah, it was Robert who was giving me all of these things. And even I think my sisters as well would go up to my mom and be like, yeah, we were at Robert's again and he's taking our photos. So right there it's like a red flag, right? Like, what do you mean? So my mom would get upset and tell me, okay, Kayla, you need to stop going over there. You need to just spend time with your grandparents and only go there if your grandparents are going to be over there, right? Which makes sense. Well, me being a stubborn little brat would be like, no, I'm not gonna stop going over there because like I got what I wanted, right? But I think the thing that really got me to stop going over there was, okay, so I remember briefly, I think the children's aid were involved, okay? People got involved. They went to my mom's house and started asking her a bunch of questions like, do you know Robert so and so, and has your daughter said anything weird has happened to her? And she was confused. She's like, no, he's just a neighbor of Kayla's grandparents. Like, she has known this guy for years now. What's going on? My mom, she was very panicky, and she did not like, she didn't like when younger children would hang out with older men, or just people that she wasn't sure of. So for them to be at her door, it really panicked her. She did not like it because she told me many, many times, stay away from him. I don't trust him. I don't know him, like firmly telling me, and I just completely just brushed her off. Like, I'm like, oh, whatever. So they asked her a bunch of questions. She answered them, and then they asked my sisters the questions. I was separated at the time. I wasn't allowed to be there because I would be like, no, that's not true. So yeah. Then it came. It was my turn. They came to me, and they're like, so Kayla, how do you know Robert, and how long have you been going over to hang out at Robert's house, and do you know Robert's grandchildren? And I would just, tell them, like, yeah, we're friends, and we go swimming all the time, and he's a good guy. I would just like constantly like try and defend him, which now looking back, I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you try and lie? Because like, if he ever hurt somebody, you know what I mean, like, they could have stopped something, and he could have hurt me. Like, he could have definitely hurt me, and I wouldn't have known. So they would ask me these questions, and yeah, apparently it turned out that he did try to do something with his granddaughter, Kayla, um, which is insane to me, because I would always think of him as just such a nice person that could never do any harm to anyone, right? But it turned out, yeah, he had tried to do things with his granddaughter, and he was no longer allowed to have visits. So they told me, you're gonna have to stay away from Robert. You're gonna have to completely just avoid him. I was upset at first, but when I found out that I could have been a victim of his, when I found out that they told me he was grooming you to be okay with things. He was grooming you to be comfortable. That's why he asked you the question, are you a virgin? Because he was trying to see where you are. Yeah, I thinking back now, I wish I would have listened to my mom. I'm glad nothing happened to me, but you just never know. You never know. You couldn't know, especially at that time. Like, I was given everything I wanted. I was having the greatest time, but it all it takes is just one small moment that they can just snap. They just, boom, you're gone. And or you're being abused, or something bad could happen to you, and could affect you for the rest of your life. I mean, my mom truly, she's smart. Like, she knew that people don't just do these things from the kindness of their hearts. They just don't do it, right? So I feel like I was lucky, in a way, because it could have been something really, really bad, and I'm super thankful that nothing did happen to me. Robert, wherever you are, I hope that you didn't do anything bad to anyone. I hope you just live your life alone, honestly, just away from children. If you can't control yourself, then you need to get the help That's just it. You need the help. I didn't end up. Hold on. I think maybe I ended up going back a couple more times, and then I just kind of got over it. I was a teenager around that time, anyways. Um, I met Bobby. I brought him to the trailer park, and he met Robert. Um, yeah, it would have been really bad if I told him at the time everything. I think that old guy wouldn't have. It wouldn't have went well. Let's just say that. Um. Anyway, after that, I think there was only one more close call, you would say, with a neighbor. I was me, my mom, and sisters were living in an apartment building. I think on Peter Street or Peelet. Either way, we were in an apartment, and we had this neighbor that lived alone. This guy, and he had a pool. And like I said, me and pools, I'm just a sucker, right? You got a pool, I'm there. So yeah, all the like younger teenager kids, mainly girls, um, he would invite them to go swimming in his pool. And no one thought that was weird. There was no parents around. There was nothing. He didn't have a wife, girlfriend, anything. But we stupid little kids just like decided to go hang out in this guy's backyard. I think he had a ping pong table. Just just bribing kids with hot dogs and chips. And again, me and my sisters and friends would go into his house and have some popcorn and watch some movie, go swimming in our bikinis. We were, I want to say, maybe 14ish, 13, 14. So a lot bigger. And yeah, just go there every single day. Until my mom, again, was just like, is there a wife there? Is there kids? Like what's going on? Why are all of these kids just flocking over to this guy's house? And we're like, oh, mom, don't worry about it. We're just going to swim. We're just gonna have a fun time. But again, she knew. She's just like, this is not okay. This is weird. Why the heck would a grown man allow all of these young kids to hang out? Why would he be cooking them food? You have no wife. You have no friends. I don't get it. I do not get it. My mom she's like, no, I'm putting a stop to this shit right now. Get your asses in the house and you're never going over there again. Never going over there again. So yeah, it's good. It's good to have parents who are aware. It's good to have people who care about you around. Always, always remember that even if your parents are annoying, they care about you. I used to get so mad at my mom. Like, you hate me, you don't want me to have fun. Just the whole tantrum. But that didn't stop her from protecting us. That didn't stop her from saying, well, that's just too bad. You're alive. And that's what matters. And I will, to this day, I will always know where my children are. They aren't allowed sleepovers. They're not allowed. Like it or not. I will meet my children's the parents. I will talk with them. I will meet them. My daughter's friends, they come over here once in a while. But I have to meet the parents first. My kids will never have sleepovers. They can do all that shit when they're adults. but they won't do that now. I don't trust it. I can't trust it. So always remember know where your kids are. And remember, your parents are going to protect you because they love you. They don't want to see you on the news. They don't want to have to go start a search party for you. They don't want to be up crying all night. So I will always know where my children are at all times. Call me paranoid all you want, but I pray to God that my kids will never have to suffer like that. My kids will be safe. And plus, they're lazy anyway. They just like to sit in front of the TV, or my daughters hang out in the room. They don't really care. My son loves outside, but I am watching him. If I'm in my room, I'm looking out the window. I'm checking every 5 seconds if I have to. And there's times that they have to follow it. If it gets darker, you're coming in. That's it, honey. You like it or not, that's it. But yes, this Ljubica case just brought back a lot of memories of my childhood. Brought back that feeling of you never know. So please protect your loved ones, protect your family. Call them, let them know, let people in your family know that you love them. You're there for them, because you never know. Anything could happen, right? So, that's all for now for this episode. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys. I just wanted to share my story just to let you guys know. I've been through a lot. And I'm doing good though. I'm happy with my life. I love my children. I'm in a good relationship. I am completely happy. I love my mom, my sisters. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for supporting me. I hope to keep doing this. My daughter, she will be on the next podcast for sure. Don't forget to subscribe, and please leave me a comment. What should we do next? Thinking maybe a movie review. Know any scary movies out there? Let's keep it fun, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.